400 kilometers of racing, 5 Toyotas, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the top 5, 7 Toyotas in the top 10, an Optimus and 2 Dacias. This is day 2, stage 2 of Dakar 2026. I'm Colin. He's Cliff.
I'm impressed on your counting, Colin.
Very good.
Very good indeed.
Greetings and salutations, race fans, motorsport lovers, and especially Dakar fans. What a day today. Toyota 7 cars in the top 10, 1 to 5. It was quite phenomenal. 400 Ks racing, 3 hours 57. Seth Quintero wins it. It was a great day's racing.
It was, yeah, and the bikes as well. Bit of a sad one, and I'm picking up bits and pieces from socials and that, but it seems like Ronald Fence's withdrawn. But other than that, Southern African boys are hanging in there. Another good day for Michael Doherty. So yeah, good round. Tough one, but good one.
We're going to go straight into the results.
All right, take it away there, Colin.
Before we do that, I've got an apology. Michael Yardim, who's at home recovering. I apologize. I may have minimized your role in the Toyota design process, so I do apologize. One of the points that we discussed last night with Michael was that he finished the design of the first IRS Toyota Dakar car on the morning of his wedding, and he was at pains to stress to me that it's a collective and a team that makes the whole process work. So we got my first apology, and there we go. Right, straight into racing. Seth Quintero, overall results, please, Peter. Overall results, Seth Quintero wins it in 3:40:57. And look how close it is, 1 minute 42 seconds to Hein Latergan, who made up a lot of time in the beginning. Henk Latergan, Hein, of course, you know, is his dad. Saud Variawa was the early leader. He came in 10th overall. Yazid Al-Raji gave it absolute beans. They lightened the car, took out all the spares, all the tools, and he had a full-on go. The Optimus that comes in, Simon Vitesse, he came in 6th. And he's a privateer. So great that a privateer comes in 6th position ahead of Loban Al-Attiyah in the Dacias. Next up, on the South African side, 14th, Brian Baragwanath was the leading of the Centuries. He had a puncher. I've just got my nose. He had a flat. He got into the dust. And then there was a whole lot of traffic. And we'll show you some of that dust a little bit later when we talk about Guy Bottorill, who came in, he lost 37 minutes with a hydraulic issue. We'll show you some pictures and talk about that. And then the last South African, and we'll take him as a South African, is Jürgen Schroeder, who is being towed in. He made it to the second last control point. They had a smell of oil. They stopped to check what it was. Turned out to be an oil leak, and they weren't able to repair the union that was in it, so that kind of left them out. And they're being towed back. So we don't know whether I'll be able to fix it up, get the car sorted. And that was, I'm going to go straight into the overalls.
Yeah, do it.
It's still early days.
Let's keep it going.
And if you go down here into 10th position, it's only 5 minutes off the lead. And it's quite ominous when you see at the leading Dakar only after 2 racing stages, Nasser Al-Attiyah from Seth Quintero, Guillaume de Mevius, and Henk Latergan in 4th position. Variawa in 9th, Baragwana 16th, and Bottorill in 26th. Bottorill's he will convert probably to a support role. And I really feel for him. He had a disaster of a day today, really quick in the beginning, and then they stopped to change a flat wheel. Pete, let's have a look at that flat wheel. They stopped to change a flat wheel, and it is incredibly rough out there, and lots of rocks, and they jacked the car up. And it's got hydraulic. You can see the rocks there. It is really, really rough. And in the they put the car down, and there was a hydraulic issue with the car, and he lost the power steering. And you can see there, this is after they lost the power steering. They're not an absolute ideal line, but those are the kind of rocks, when they talk about rocks that are cutting the sides of the tires, that's it. Super, super dusty. I had a bit of a chat over the messages, and there's guys' hands. I saw them. He showed me the picture before he went to the medication, and there's huge blisters on it. So we were hoping to talk to him tonight, but he's gone to the medics to get rubbed down and sorted out and prepare for a big day tomorrow, because they've got 421 Ks racing tomorrow. So that's the story of Guy. Really, really sad. Lost all of that time without the power steering. And I had him kind of there and thereabouts in my top 5. But not to be. This is Dakar. But it's still a long way to go. 30 minutes is doable.
Yeah, it's hectic though, second stage, and already you're starting to think about who's going to be the support vehicle going forward. It's how quickly things can turn and how early, you know?
Well, this is it's really tight. I'll just go back here. 2 minutes, 42 seconds to 7th place. But it's only day 2.
Yeah.
We've got another, 11 days racing to go. And we've seen comebacks on the scale of Lazarus. Hour and a half, 2 hours.
Sure.
Can still be made up.
Yeah, and I think tomorrow is probably the longest stage, excluding the marathon stages. So there's a lot of racing, a lot of long stages. I mean, tomorrow being the longest one, but a lot of racing to happen.
There's a 480 odd K stage, I think.
Okay.
But it's 421 Ks tomorrow, and it's the day before the marathon, but we'll talk about that. 2 wheels.
Let's cut the wheels in half. Yeah, 2 wheels. So today, KTM 1-2. Good day if you're an Orange supporter. Daniel Sanders showing his hand early. Edgar Canet opened the road. He finished second, so Sanders took first place. They were close. It was like basically just over a minute. And then we've got Ricky Brabeck, Skylar Howes, Tasha Sharana, and then Rally 2 rider Martin Ventura on a Honda. He came in 6th place, so he took the Rally 2 overall. But moving down in the overalls, and then Ross Branch 7th, Michael Doherty 8th. Another strong ride from him. And then Luciano Benavides, 9th, Adrian Van Beveren, 10th, Bradley Cox came in 13th, and then Mason Klein, just because he's on a camel in the desert, he was 14th. So in Rally 2, if we look at it, it's Martin Ventura took the win, Michael Doherty then second, and then Preston Campbell, the American, on a Honda. As we said, or I said in our opening, that Ronald Fenter looks like he's withdrawn. It doesn't show him officially withdrawn on the Dakar website. He sort of features as a non-starter in the penalties list, but on their socials they say that he had a bit of pain in his shoulder. They gave him some pain treatment, but the pain was back this morning. But he's suffering a bit from numbness, and he's a bit worried that he could be a hazard in the race and cause an accident. So he's decided to withdraw because he's recovering from a surgery that happened leading up to the Dakar. Yeah. So he's pulled out. And then another one that's also pulled out, not officially, but James Hillier, that is Isle of Man specialist TT rider. He was in Dakar last year, struggled a lot, but his one's also been cut short, fractured arm. Also not an official withdrawn, but on his social saying that he's decided to not continue. There is an option that they can skip today.
Yeah, I'm not sure so much for the bikes, but you take a huge penalty, and you saw the penalties a little bit earlier, from yesterday. We're going to go and talk about penalties just now, and I've got some nice pictures to show the speed penalties, but we'll get to that shortly. You know, there's different groups of people go to race Dakar or to take part in Dakar. Before we discuss that, remember, if you've got any questions or queries or comments to make, feel free to use either on the Facebook or the YouTube comments. Let us know your thoughts on who you think the driver of the day was for you and the rider of the day, and any other questions that you'd like us to answer. Send them in. We love the enjoyment and the interaction with our Dakar family. So bikes overall.
Yeah, let's get back to overall. So if we look overall in the standings, Sanders now takes the lead overall, but 30 seconds to Canet, but it's KTM 1-2, same team, so good start for them. Brabeck third, and then we've got Ross Branch down in fifth, 7 minutes 46 behind the leader. Michael Doherty is overall ninth, and Bradley Cox is overall 11th. So that's still all the guys are in. Bradley Cox now pretty much sitting 29 minutes behind the leader. So, like we said, it's a bit, but it can be overturned.
But Brad is the only Sherco rider left, eh?
Yeah. So according to nothing gets past you, eh? According to the withdrawals list, 2 Shercos withdrew, and they started only with 3. So that leaves Bradley the only one that's on a Sherco. So good for him if that is the case, because then he's got all the factory support. I mean, they've gone all the way there, and they've done pretty much 1 day's worth of work. So put all the guys behind Bradley. So it's nice to be in that situation, but there's also no team support out on the stage. So that makes it tricky.
Do you think that he would, you bring 3 bikes, 2 are fraught already, and you can't go to Dakar and not have at least 1 bike finish.
100%.
So do you think that they would have asked him to minimize all risk, and that means it's a little bit slower?
Oof, yeah, that's tricky. I mean, any racer knows, you know your pace, and sometimes when you're going a little bit slower than what you should be, that's when bad things happen. You find yourself caught in situations you wouldn't normally be in, and I think if you overthink it, that can end in tears. But yeah, valid point. They obviously want to get a finish, because otherwise they've gone all the way there for nothing, basically. Yeah. So that probably, maybe not echoing it now, but I think after Raceday they're going to be like, listen, bring it home, So strategy.
Because manufacturers, they go to Dakar as a marketing exercise.
Absolutely.
To sell more bikes, sell more vehicles. It's a wonderful platform for any partner, sponsor, get your name out there. All motorsport is, in fact. We've still got, are we finished with bikes? Because we've still got, in my notes, in my excitement, I missed a whole lot of other South African things.
Look, I've covered pretty much the results for now. Interesting fact, if you want to look at top 10 results overall for today, KTM's 6 finished, Honda 7, Hero 3, Hotto 2, Sherco 1, Cove 1. What is quite interesting for me is if you look at, that's what's in the top 20 overall with all of them combined. But if you look at all the bikes that have entered as a whole over all 3 classes, 59 is what KTM have brought, or what is lined up on the grid basically to start the race. And the second most amount of bikes is Honda with 13. So there's a massive preference there in terms of what bike you're running at Dakar. But yeah, move on to yours. That was just one of my interesting facts. On with the show.
We've got, yesterday I didn't fully go through all the South Africans, but 256 is Schroeder Gregory. They're still lurking in the desert with the oil isn't pressurizing, it's leaking all over the place. And then Leander Pienaar in 443 with Abdullah Al Fahad. It's a T4, so it's a semi-modified side-by-side thing, not the full-on side-by-side racing vehicles. And then we've got Dennis Murphy, who's navigating for Loris Janeski in 441. And that's just it's a side-by-side. That's like the stock version of the side-by-sides. And then Grant Ballington in the 629 truck, the South Racing service truck. So the truck that's there, he's nominated as the mechanic. The 3 people in the car, you'll have the driver, the navigator, and the mechanic, and they'll chase. It's rapid response. They'll chase after the cars, and he'll have all the spares and know exactly what to do. But talking about Leander Pienaar, we got a very nice, as they come into the pits, he gets out of the car and has a chat. Now, just look at the joy of this. It's absolutely fantastic. So let's roll with Leander at the end of stage today.
Yes, wat 'n stage, 400 kilometer racing stage. Yes. Dit is taai. Dis die ouens wat hier na ons sê, ons het 2 pap wiele gehad. Ons het die laaste 100 kilos met sonder pap wiele gevat, sonder backup gery. So jy moet so versigtig wees. Yes, ou so op jou sene wees en dit is baie sand en baie klippe. Maar ek dink ons het goed gedoen vandag. Sal sien ons spaarwiel wat ons op het is ander spaarwiels nie wat ons eintlik wil hê op die kar nie. Ja. Dis taai. Nou ek bly ons is hier. Dit lyk of ons is volgende 141ste en dit lyk of ons nou 113de kan wees. So dit gaan goed. Ek geniet dit baie. Behalwe as ons uit Spiers uit hardloop, maar hier is ons, stage 2 Dakar.
What absolute joy. I'm just looking at the results there. They came in 22nd today after starting 29th in their class, the T4 class. Absolutely joy of complete joys. Hey?
Let's move to socials there because it is getting a bit out of hand. Couple of guys in and echoing your sentiments. What a day for the Toyotas from Shamil. Andrew Sparkfish makes him think back to the Mitsubishi days. Then we've got greetings from Botswana. Why is Ford sabotaging the Woolridge brothers who are doing so great in Africa?
I don't think you could call it sabotage. Ford America decided to support M Sport that runs the factory program and not Neil Woolridge Motorsport. They did have a partnership that ended in not the finest of friendships, and Ford, all their money is going into M Sport. So it's nothing to do with sabotage, I believe.
Okay. A lot of guys coming in here talking about the Mitsubishi days. And then, challenging day for Guy. Keep fighting. That's from Johan Grobler. Shamil says the terrain looks as rough, or the world's roughest sandpaper. We've got Kevin Retief. Guy is amazing with pulling a rabbit out of the hat. And then, there's a couple of guys just a bit of banter on the page. Let's see what else we've got here. Guys coming back. Any defenders left? Question mark with a laughing face. How are the defenders doing?
Well, Sarah Price won the stock class today, and we'll go back to the defenders now from a results. It was 1, 2, 3. Defenders 1, 2, and 3 today. But it's defender leading with the two Toyotas, second and third, and then in the overall. So, thank you, Peter. I'll tell you what, he's on the ball today with everything in there.
He's got everything. Good looks, talent.
Yeah, but so it's quite interesting, those, we've got to keep an eye on that. That is, in my way, my thinking, that class is going to grow hugely. It is a little bit more expensive than some of the side-by-sides and T4s, and if you're going to go and fight against a factory team.
There's a thought here from Evan Marburg saying, opening a stage seems to be a horrible idea, and a couple of guys saying that's why the bikers get bonus points for leading and opening the road. But looking at that terrain, I think that's the last thing you want to do. The bonus points is one thing, but looking at that terrain, that's a quick crash. You know what I mean?
You just looking at today's results. Yazid Al Raji started in 27th, comes in third, first and second. Somewhere, it seems like the soft spot is between sort of 15 to 20.
Yeah.
Seems to be the soft spot, and kind of guys are losing about between 5 and 10 minutes, the first 3 or 4 cars. So, although having said that, NASA started second, but he's NASA. He's an absolute phenom. So, tomorrow, we'll get to tomorrow and when we'll discuss that. We had a bit of a chat about penalties yesterday. So I'd like to re-look at some of the penalties, because each day we get this notification from the organizations and it comes out, and we've got a portion of today's penalties. And you'll see it right at the top there. I love that name, Zol Racing, especially for South Africans. And they've got the overspeeding on stage 1, speed measured 76, and the allowed speed is 30. Now, if we just take a little gander at the next map that we've got here, this gives you an idea of how it's not like the speed control in Dakar is not like the speed cops in South Africa do it with speed at a point. You'll see the circle on the left-hand side. It's a 90-meter circle at the base of the arrow. That's from there to the base of the next arrow. That's the place where they want the speed controlled. But they give you a 90-meter radius leeway. And it's only outside of that 90-meter radius that they'll measure the pings. And you get a ping around about every 150 meters. So what the guys are doing, you've got 180 meters from the start of the DZ to slow the car down. But of course, racing drivers being racing drivers.
Yeah, flat out.
You go flat out and make sure that you get to the, you brake as late as you can to get down to whatever the speed is. So that's just a little bit more on how that's measured. Now let's go back to that, because as we were picking up our fines, you've got speeding. So Gonzalez, he gets 15 minutes for a waypoint. Bagheera gets 1 minute for speeding. And then look at this, 225, 226, and 228. Ford, the FIA torque meter, they get a 10-second penalty. So this is part of the whole thing about measuring power, is to make sure that all the cars have got some kind of equity in it. There's a torque meter that has got a very, very rough trace that comes out. The engineers know a lot more than I have. I do. They've told me might be possible that you can fiddle with things, and if you don't get it right, you end up with going over the maximum outside of the torque curve, and you get a penalty. So that column that we saw there, 13.33, that's just the article in the document that is huge, and it goes through all the rules, the sporting regulations of what you can do. It's quite fun reading all that sort of stuff if you've got nothing to do in the middle of the night. No doubt there will be...
There are some chaps joining us. Craig Galvin, sorry I'm late. Dog ate my homework. I'm sorry to hear that he has homework on the 5th of Jan. Marcus Labaskachny, is there not a rumor of the Woolridges going to international racing next year, or something else maybe? What have you heard, Colin?
I don't respond to rumors.
You don't.
I only go on facts. I spoke with Mr. Woolridge earlier I spoke with Woolridge earlier, and I don't believe that they will be going international racing so far. But they've got a really committed program for the South African Rally Raid Championship. They're going to be running 4 cars, which is quite exciting. They've done a whole lot of development on that car, so it's great. The new season, can't wait for the new season of cross-country racing.
Here's another question with regards to speculation. Hi guys. Do you guys think a Chinese brand will try to compete with the likes of Toyota? Obviously in the future. I mean, we're seeing it with some of the bikes coming to light. But I think that's a bit of time and research and development. Huh? What do you think, Colin?
I don't have enough information to answer that question accurately.
Leave it there. Paul Dalrev, great to see you guys back again. Cass Kruger, saw an interview with Al Attiyah, and he reckons tomorrow's stage is a nightmare to navigate.
Oh, well, we wanted to save the stuff that sort of stuff for the end. But yeah, we've got some really cool information about tomorrow's stage. We normally do tomorrow right after we've discussed catering. But still, so if you've got ideas for catering, bring them up. Carry on with that while I get my...
Raven ZA seems a little bit hot under the collar.
Why?
That thing Ford calls a truck is not a bucky's arse. I hope Toyota wipes the floor with them this year. M Sports Sachat. So yeah, obviously not a Ford fan, but tell us how you really feel. Then Paul Dalrev comes back. We have another African from Mozambique, Paul Oliveira, that has done the Dakar on a bike, then SSV, then the Classics, and now is navigation for Truck 623. Interesting. I didn't know that. And then here's a chap that I think probably rivaled you with best hair for Dakar last year. Mike Lawrenson, hi from Thailand. Great show again, guys.
Thailand.
Yeah.
The oaks all over the blooming place. How's it, Mike?
Yeah, you can't keep a good man down, as they say. But yeah, what else have you got for us? Just bear with us because everything is coming from all the different platforms and then being thrown onto a laptop here for me. So we will get through them and we'll try and answer as many as possible. But yeah, keep them coming. It's always great to interact.
Somebody sent me a picture. They shall be nameless, remain nameless, Peter Anker. There's this whole Defender, Land Rover, Toyota, Ford, Toyota rivalry, and there just happens to be a picture of Peter Hansel's Defender with a tow rope. Admittedly, it's slack, but he did finish today, and he finished third, and in the overall, he is in fourth place. There was a bit of an issue. That would have been from yesterday. I must just say, on that note, on the Westkust, it took a Ford Bucky to tow the Toyota that had broken its wiring harness and caused a fire. I would think it might have been something else, that somebody had put an aftermarket sound system in it that didn't kind of do so lacquer. And when the brandy wines are flowing in there, but hell, what a jewel. But we all love our individual makes, and for me, that's part of what makes motor racing so nice, is the rivalry that we've got. And
identifying.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I don't like KTM at all.
But guys that ride KTMs will identify with that
Absolutely.
and sort of live vicariously through these guys that are going through the desert right now. And that's what it is, in bike terms, that I ride a Suzuki, and I will always have a soft spot for Suzukis. Whenever I see one lining up on a grid anywhere, I'll support them. It's just what it is. And if you move manufacturer, there are the diehard guys that will stick to a brand from start to finish. But when you move to a different manufacturer for whatever the reason, upgrades or better package or whatever the case is, then you sort of move on and start identifying with the new brand type of thing and put your gas behind it. So yeah, it just makes it fun.
My best T-shirt of all the brands, back in the day, was, if you don't ride a Kawa, and it's got a K, the Kawasaki K. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Right. So the Defenders are still running.
Okay, good to know. Jason Rathbone is eagerly waiting for us to discuss catering, and then he says there ... maybe a beer. But so far, your hip is holding up and your leg is okay.
Thank you very much for all the support and the advice. I was sitting here, it was really, my whole right leg was cramping up, and I might have a little bit I was walked out of the sea and kicked a rock. And of course, you old men will tell you that gout starts where there's an injury. And I thought that it was gout in my left leg, but yesterday, I had withdrawal symptoms from lack of beer, and I substituted with water. And apparently I was totally dehydrated, so I'm feeling a hell of a lot better, coupled with a few bits of science's finest medications.
It'll teach you, eh?
Great, yeah, but I'm missing a beer. And unfortunately, or fortunately, we have to wait until we get home before we have a beer. It's just the way of the world.
Llewellyn asking, how is Puck Claassen doing?
Very good question.
Uh-huh.
I don't have enough information at the moment. What we'll do is we'll follow up with Puck tomorrow. We'll give you a full update on everything there.
Yeah, but yeah, at the moment seems like a little bit quiet. What else have you got for us? What should we move on to next?
I had a whole lot of. I've kind of gone half blank for a minute. There was just in the discussion with our research department, Puck is 14th overall, are absolutely fantastic. So he's 14th?
14th.
It's early. Just discussing the rest of the race. We've got Saturday as a rest day.
Yeah.
It's, not quite a rest day because the cars will be rebuilt and all the right bits and pieces will be maintained. On the stock cars, they've got a certain number of components that they can change. They can't change too many of it. But certainly at the sharp end, they are really going to rebuild them. And that'll be after the marathon stage where we've got the teams are only allowed to service. So I would imagine that right at the sharp end, they're going to keep those cars as light as they can. And then some of the rest, the team cars further down, they would carry all the heavy spares and some of the less frequently used spares. So tomorrow, just discussing what NASA was saying, should we go and have a look at that map that we've got for tomorrow, Peter, if you don't mind? They've got 421 kilometers to go. So what you see on the screen there is that we've got the map. And when they on the briefing, they give us some general information, and it's made up of 58% dirt and then stones and sand. And NASA says that tomorrow is going to be the axis, the turning point, the hinge point of this race. And he's not in the lead tomorrow. He doesn't open the road. Pete, go to the next one, the general information. And it's quite interesting the level of detail that give the competitors. So you've got sandy canyons, and they'll give you the kilometers. You enter a demanding section, rocky and technical. And the key that we've got on this, and if we go to the vigilance points, they'll give you exact sort of points. When they say vigilant, when they say rocky passage, if they're highlighting rocky, it is hell of a rocky. So tomorrow is going to be from what we can understand, a very, very tricky navigational stage. And, you know, with Quintero opening the road, it's going to be really, really interesting to see how they end up with it. So I'm going to be watching with sadly, I've got a day job as well, and I'd love to be able to sit and watch this thing all day long while it's building up now. For me, the tension is coming. It's a turning day tomorrow. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, 100%. I think
going to be super exciting.
Opening the road tomorrow, I think is going to be tough. I think as we ease into the race, not as difficult, but with these rocky canyons where they are now, it looks tricky, and I think it's just going to get progressively worse until we get past Raceday. Then I think from there we'll sort of see the guys play their hand, but it looks like then we get more into the dunes. So hopefully not as rocky. I feel like the faster the better. That's just my personal sentiments towards it. These rocky, tricky navigation, punctures, car breakdowns, and hitting rocks and all sorts, I feel takes away from the race. I want to see guys go fast.
You would have loved the old days of Dakar. Speaking of which, you and I were both wrong.
Yeah, you said I must apologize, and I'm on the fence with this one. So I have an apology, and it was within the first 5 seconds of us opening our show. But I mean, I don't want to point fingers, but I think Dakar's website is the problem. Yeah.
So it goes back to our discussion yesterday, where we said that there were 40. This was the 46th Dakar.
46 years of Dakar
46
is what it says.
Years of Dakar.
But
there's many. So if you go there, it says 46 years of Dakar. And it's a question for our watchers, the viewers. I looked at that and I said, okay, fine. And I didn't do too much of mathematics. But if you say that the first one was 1979, and you go 79 to 25 is 46 years.
Yeah, I got you.
So we've had 46 Dakars. So this is the 47th. But let's throw it out there to our viewers. How many Dakars are there?
Yeah, so this is my thoughts behind it, because it says there that it started in 78 and then it carries over into 79, because the actual race started in 78. I mean, it's right there under 1979. But then if you look at the top left there where it says historic, 1979 to 2025, the first one says 1979. But count those blocks. If I count them, there's rows of 8, and then the last one on the end there is 7, and I count there 47 blocks with 2026 not being a block there, which means it's the 48th. So, I mean, I'm not going to confess to be a maths genius. My mom and I can both agree on that because I think I got like 25% for maths in grade 9. So it's not my strong point, but I mean, I can count. So
Okay, so you've counted 27, 47.
47.
But if you take 79 to take 2025 minus 1979, and you get 46.
You know.
Okay, so what do you guys think?
So
you let us know.
With this
We'll have a prize for it. We haven't worked out the prize yet, but I'm sure Mersha from Motel will give us a massive hamper of Motel goodies. If you can come up with not just a guess of the number, but a reasoning for it and motivate your answer. This is not multiple choice. This is and the best story of how you come up with that number. Because remember, or go think back, there was drama in the desert, there was hijackings, there was bullets fired at cars, there was that social experiment in 2019 where they tried to destroy the world. All of these things have to be factored into it.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know where we're going. I've heard different ones on different platforms, so yeah, it just confuses me even more. So yeah, I'll be interested to hear, but I'm pretty sure there's some creative chaps out there.
Okay, so have answers started coming in there?
No, not quite yet. I actually wanted to ask you, who was that auntie that sponsored us jam last year? What happened to her? Auntie, what is it? Auntie Lorna? What is her name?
Yeah, the jam jar.
The jam jar.
Yeah, but you see, that was we
miss
went on
her.
a road trip. And it's the Auntie Lorna's jam jar came from, I still want to know where that jam jar is. I think our executive producer has schnaffled it and eaten it all. No, we don't have any of those. Talking about catering, we
I've got some questions, yeah? It's come in.
Okay.
Hi guys, thanks for another great show. Did Biker find out more info on the tires used? Will be interesting to know. I did. So what I found out is there's actually...
Are you Cliff the Biker?
I'm just biker guy again. So, I mean, hurt my feelings, but I've got a year to recover after this and get stronger and eat my cement balls. But I did. So, most popular, it's not really disclosed on any of the entry forms for the teams, but most popular is Michelin, and that holds at least about 85% plus on preference, and then smaller numbers are Mitas and Pirellis. But Michelin tends to be the favorite. The guys running in the top 20 from what we could gather, all on Michelin. So that was interesting. So Michelin seems to be the preference.
It would be very interesting, like at the Comrades Marathon, they have techie counters.
Yes.
So they count all the different makes of the techies and...
Look, I mean, I know from a point of view on a superbike type of thing, which is a different discipline, but certain tracks have different characteristics. So sometimes if you can switch between brands and not necessarily tied into something, but that's normally for privateers and not really factory riders, but you can use different profiles and potentially use tires that might last longer than others. It can work in your favor, but ready GP teams and professional guys, they all have contracts in place to keep the cost down and have sponsorship and stuff running. So
it all sounds too complicated.
Yeah, it does. Then we've got your King of the South. Any news on Tim and Tom Coronel? They were stuck on 190 kilometers for some reason.
Yeah, they haven't come in yet. They're
Still not,
stuck. Yeah.
Okay. And then we've got someone's asking, hope they've got a logbook right this time around. We'll just need to find out what the context of that is. Can we get a shout out for Mark Dock in Rally 2? I know it's still early days, but 19 seconds is still 19 seconds. A lot has happened in less time. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, strong top or first two stages. I mean, he's in the top 10 and overall, and I mean his aim is to finish top 5 overall, which is a good goal to set because we've seen that he's capable. But yeah, he's absolutely killing it. I mean, not the fastest Rally 2 rider today, but still keeping it close, leading it overall, and that's all you need to do is you need to manage your race. That's
if he's fit,
yep,
not injured,
yep,
the bike's in reasonable condition, and he's relatively close, he's got a chance. We've done 2 stages. What's it? 700 Ks out of 4. We've got another 4,200 kilometers to go. way early. We're getting indications of who's quick.
We've got some thoughts here on the years. Mary Whitehouse, COVID, and then Yaku Herbst. This is a good one. Ask Janelle. He did all of them.
That's a great one. It's, yeah. Let's see if we can. We'll see if we can get Janelle to talk to us.
That'd be super.
But
cool.
I think he's still pretty bleak about not being there. I know I would, especially in the manner that he was retired.
Nothing worse.
He still wanted to carry on, and the announcement was made for him, which I think is a little bit.
But Aina,
yeah.
Andrew Sparks, Sparkfish, echoing my sentiments. Yeah, the bikes use any of the top brands depending on the terrain they face on the day. And yeah, it makes the most sense. If you're not tied into a single tire manufacturer rule, then why not explore all options? Because certain tires behave differently in certain conditions.
I know not of what you speak. It's got 2 wheels. I follow the 4-wheel stuff.
So, King of the South, this is my guy. Google says 48 Dakar rallies, including the current one. That's what I found.
Yeah, but how can you? I mean, if you ask Google's
that's
lazy.
Peter says it's not a very good story, but I mean, figures are figures. You know what I mean?
What does Grok say? Somebody go into Grok and ask Grok.
What happened to that auntie that was giving us some feedback in last year's show? What was her name? She was giving us a Didi. That's right. I can't remember she had a name, specific name for a specific reason.
Didi was a measurement.
Oh, that's what I thought it was.
It wasn't her name.
Yeah. So where's that auntie? Surely she can sort of earn a paycheck from last year.
Hank's got Didi hidden away there. Apparently she's preparing him.
If there was a classification, then a Dakar rally happened somewhere, somehow. That's from Shamil. Gents, don't forget that there was one cancelled for security reasons. Why do you have an old route map on the wall behind you? That's from...
Very good question.
Mike Pearson.
Well, you see, Mike, you actually win the prize. Because you're not the first person to comment about the picture on the back of the wall. Our decorators came in and it cost at huge expense. They printed this big thing that they put up there, and we've contacted them. We've listed them on Hello Peter, so we will have correct information going forward, as long as but today is the first day back at work, so they've got to come back and redo the whole back wall. It's terrible. But you get the prize for paying attention.
Jason Rathbone, the first Dakar rally was held in 1979. It has been run every year since, except 2008, which was cancelled due to security concerns. From 1979 to 2025 is 47 calendar years, minus the 2008 edition equals 46. That is, and then Shamil says Jason wins, give him the Motul hamper. That we haven't discussed yet. Andrew Sparkfish, there was no Dakar in 2008, cancelled before the start. So I think that's probably where the shenanigans comes in. Everyone sort of, in 2008, there was no Dakar due to terrorist threats.
Strange that.
They run the 47th, this 48th, I don't know what that's. Is it there? So Peter says if we look at the blocks on the side, I don't know if he's going to pull that up again, or if you look on their website or their storybook or whatever.
Yeah,
that 2008 is there. Yeah.
So I was right.
Yes. I mean, yeah. And then Andrew Sparkfish says, "Oh my hat, please don't bring Didi back."
But hold on, she's had some enhancements. And she's had a lot of work done on her, and apparently. She's gone to school.
Oh, wow.
And she's got cleverer and fitter, and faster.
Yeah, I mean, Henk is very thorough with these things in an interview.
Henk is very, very particular as to what is needed. I think we're getting to the waffle stage.
So we said catering. That's where we were going. I mean, take us away, Colin. Describe catering in 3 words.
Needs help.
Oh, wow. I'm going to say finger licking good.
Yeah, although the photography is, and believe it or not, we had a professional photographer come in to take this. That was supper tonight. We should not complain, Clifford, as
It's
those
January.
who do
It's-
not put effort into it should not complain
Yeah.
as to the results.
It's January. I'll take a meal anywhere, anyhow.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, the meal sort of it played with my emotions a little bit because someone mentioned to me when there was a picture of the catering put up on the Raceday chat that, have you seen Peter's breasts on on the chat, whatever the case was? I nearly rolled my car, but then I saw that it was chicken, and I was just happy there was a meal and not anything else.
Right. Tomorrow, Quintero opens, followed by Lateghan, Al-Raji, Price, Ferreira, Witzer, Loeb, and the Danger Man, Al-Attiyah, with Variawa in 10th place. It's going to be Gregoire de Mevis. And then the Forts, Ekstrom, Sanson, Roma, all in proper places that they can make hay while the sun is shining, make some way of gaining an advantage, because the road will be swept, the big rocks will be away, and they can attack the road a little bit more. Bottorill's hands will be bandaged, and they will make sure that his car is loaded with some spares for the other guys, and he'll attack. Pity that he lost so much time, because in my opinion, he has the ability of finishing easily inside the top 10. He's grown into a proper marathon rally raid cross-country driver, looks after the cars, quick, neat and tidy, doesn't bash it up tomorrow. I can't wait for tomorrow. It is going to be 421 kilos of absolute magnificent stuff. And after they race the 421, they've got another 251 kilos of Liaison, and these are the bits and pieces that make Dakar so grueling. 64 Ks to start racing, which is really great. The tires can get up to temperature because they run the tires pretty soft. And if you start off with cold tires, you end up with snake bite or pinch flats. So they'll arrive at start with relatively some temperature in the gearbox and the diffs, the brakes, the tires. The drivers will have had a bit of a wake-up call, and they do their 421 and then drive the 251 Ks or get towed 251 Ks back to the bivouac to get their cars repaired. It's going to be fantastic. Last word from our viewers, watchers.
Yeah, someone saying, Kevin Retief saying that we must turn the desk around because I never get to see your shoes. So maybe tomorrow you can show off your chicken legs.
No, we've got Stickman down there.
Yeah, so this is a new addition brought out by a shoe manufacturer, but it's not. It's just an illusion. But my shoes are the wrong color, but they can just change color on my mood. So we black and then we brown. But it's just because, quite simply, that I cannot follow instruction from our technical crew and was in hot water, but I also didn't plan on showing off my legs for 2 days in a row. So there's my apology for you guys having to look at what my wife calls chicken legs for 2 days in a row. But well, maybe tomorrow your shoes will be on display. And then here's a nice one from Shamil. I'm betting on a Ford counter-attack tomorrow. And then Hengrative, Glenn is with Overdrive, also Toyota Gazoo Racing. South Africa is Shamir Variawa, SVR Racing. I just want to scroll down here because I'm running out of space. Overdrive is an overseas team.
That's correct.
And then that's pretty much it. But I like the thought there that Ford might counter-attack tomorrow. According to AI on the bike side, the top 3 tomorrow will be the top 3 on how they finish today, which I don't think is going to happen. I think tomorrow we will see a change. I think it's time for Ross to come good tomorrow. That's my prediction.
I reckon Ross is hanging in there, waiting for the second week and have a go. But hey,
let's see.
We don't know. We're not there. We're not racing. But for sure, everybody will be giving it absolute full beans tomorrow. Relatively short show tonight. We will have guests to interview tomorrow. Evan Hutchinson is coming into studio on Wednesday, and we've got a couple of other interviews and guests lined up. We should have had one today, but they did not materialize. On that note, I just want to thank the technical guys again. Catering, great that you put the effort in. Somebody else, if I'm not happy with it, it's up to me to put some effort into it. And I think we should all have a look at that. We still haven't had any suggestions from any of our spectators, the viewers, as to what you think you would like to bring us for our catering. But we wait with bated breath. To the technical department, guys, thank you very much. To the research guys, to photography, everybody, transport, you guys have been absolutely fantastic. Cliffy, it's always fun being with you. But mostly to you, who's been with us, our Dakar family, thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, 7:26 in the evening. Remember, be kind, be nice, and remember that random act of kindness. Have a great evening. We out of here. Cheers.
Remember your finger guns.